I think this film might be the first time a teenage boy has used tissues for tears.
What colour is that? Maybe if we take a pencil and then we make a face, and then we see the life in the eyes. Life is always in the eyes. There's our monster.
Alright guys, and welcome to my review of the new film that's just come out, A Monster Calls. So just excuse my pronunciation for a few of these details, but it was directed by J.A. Bayona, I think it said, Sigourney Weaver, Felicity Jones, Liam Neeson as the voice of the monster, Toby Kebbell, and then I'm just going to read it, Lewis McDowell, I think it said. I don't really know his name, I don't know how to say it, so excuse the pronunciation. So if you haven't seen any of the trailers for this film, the plot is quite simple. It's just a boy trying to cope with his mum's terminal illness, and the monster comes and helps him. He tells him stories to sort of give him perspective on life and sort of help him cope with his mum's terminal illness and help him cope with the situation. So as I said at the start of the video, this film was really emotional, and that leads me into my first positive, and that's the emotional impact the film had due to the characters' performances, the direction, the music used, the story overall, the way it played out. That was probably the biggest thing about this film, just the emotional impact it has, and I think it will have an impact on most people. So that was a massive plus. I think if it didn't have that emotional impact, it was just the story, it wouldn't have fit, but obviously that was the main theme of the film and it really fit and it worked really well. I think there was only like 10 people in the screen I was in, and it was quite a big screen and you could just hear people crying around, which was really depressing. Yeah, I didn't cry at all. I powered through the tears.
Bullshit. You're talking bullshit.
Another thing I really enjoyed about this film, it's not one of those films that just says everything how it is. There's a few things you have to think about, like metaphorical meanings, like especially with the story that the monster tells, and then there's a few like photos on the wall that link to who the monster could be or who it could represent, and that was a really good thing about the film. So another massive positive was the design of the CG monster and the voice work done by Liam Neeson and the way that he was written into the story. He wasn't just there to bring kids into the film, and he wasn't really like a throwaway character. As I've said, he gave perspective to the young boy so he could cope with his mom's terminal illness, and that really, it led to some really powerful scenes. So it was good that he was an actual important character, not just a throwaway character. And as I've said, the design was really cool. It wasn't boring and generic, it was quite original, which I liked. Yeah, overall for things I liked in this film, it's just a really beautiful film. It's shot really well. The direction, it's nothing really special, but it was perfectly acceptable. It's probably better than perfectly acceptable. It was good. The performances, as I've said, were amazing. Felicity Jones played the character amazingly. You saw the progression from how she was getting worse and the illness. Sigourney Weaver had a great performance, and her relationship with the young boy as it progressed, that was another good aspect to the film. So overall it was really emotional, really powerful, and a really good film. I do have a few like little nitpicky things that I didn't really like about the film. The stories that the monster told, as much as they sort of did have hidden meanings that you had to sort of discover yourself, the explanation could have been a bit better. It could have been a bit more clear of what was actually what he was trying to tell to the boy. Obviously you don't want it all just told to you, you want to actually be able to think for yourself, but it could have been explained a bit more simply, a little bit more. Also, some of the stories dragged a bit, which I didn't really like. I would have liked if they flowed a bit better. They were a bit sharper. The animation was a bit like the animation in Deathly Hallows Part 2, where it shows the story of the three brothers, and I did quite like the animation, but yeah, I did think some of the stories dragged a little bit. Yeah, overall I really enjoyed this film. I think it's the second or third film I've cried at in the cinema, along with Toy Story 3. It's really powerful, had great performances, it was a beautiful looking film, and I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Tell you what, Liam Neeson's career is looking on the up, isn't it? He's got 2 films out this week that I've given an 8 out of 10 to, so fair play to you, Liam Neeson. So yeah, leading on from that, I did review Silence the other day. If you haven't watched that review already, go and have a look back. I know you know the grade, but I did speak about a few in detail things. You might have a look at the problems, and some people might not enjoy it, so if you want to know more about the film, what it's about, go and have a look at that review. Also before that, I reviewed La La Land, so if you've not seen that film, you want to know if it's worth a watch, go back and watch that review. Let me know down in the comments what films that are out at the moment that you want me to review. I've heard that The Bye Bye Man's meant to be really shit, so I might review it just because it might be funny to talk crap about. As soon as I've watched Manchester by the Sea, Hacksaw Ridge and Moonlight, I'll get my best of 2016 video out, because I didn't want to just put it out and miss films that would probably be on the list. Yeah, thanks for watching. Leave any feedback down below on how I can improve the review, what you thought of the film, and if you agreed with any of my opinions. If you enjoyed the video, leaving a like would be appreciated, and if you're new and you enjoy film reviews or anything film, because I might bring out film news like in the near future, a subscribe would be appreciated. And yeah, thanks for watching.